Yo, so check this out for a sec. What if I told you that before you apply for your next credit card, there's a few things that you can do that will actually improve your chances of getting approved? So if you're thinking about applying for a credit card anytime soon, pause for just a second because in this video, I'm going to break down 3 things that you need to do before applying for your next credit card. What's up, y'all? My name is Ruben and this is Eternal Assets, where I'll talk any and everything stocks, business, and personal finance. Listen, I don't want to waste your time any longer, so let's get right into the video. So to get things started, you should know exactly why you're even applying for this credit card in the first place. Now, in my humble opinion, this is by far the most important step and one that a lot of people tend to skip over. Before you go looking up sign-up bonuses, rewards, or TikTok hype that you were seeing about a certain credit card, you need to first take a step back and ask yourself, why are you even applying for this credit card in the first place? Are you applying for cashback rewards on everyday spending, maybe travel rewards that you get from using the card, or maybe a balance transfer to pay off some high interest debt that you currently have? Or are you just applying for it because you saw somebody else talking about it? Because here's the truth. Applying for a new credit card without a clear purpose for how you're actually going to use it always tends to lead to making bad decisions. So if you don't travel and you pick up a travel card with airline perks, that probably doesn't make the most sense. If you're carrying a balance, then a rewards card isn't going to help you because the interest is going to eat away at any rewards that you're even going to get. And if you're a beginner, jumping into any premium cards with high limits and annual fees can actually hurt you more than it actually helps you. So before applying for any credit card, you should be able to at least say that this card fits how I already spend my money. And if you can't clearly explain why you want the card, then you're probably not ready to actually apply for it just yet. Now let's get into some of the more interesting stuff and talk about some of the ways that you actually can better your chances of getting approved. So before you actually apply for your next card, you want to check out your current credit utilization. Now, this depends on whether you actually already have a credit card or not, so let's break it down into 2 different situations. So the first situation is if you already have a credit card, and if you do, then first you want to check your current credit utilization before applying for another one. Your credit utilization is how much of your current available credit that you're already using. So let's say, for example, you have a credit card with a limit of $1,000 and on that card you have a balance of $400. Then that means that your current utilization is 40%. Which isn't terrible, but generally you want to try and stay below at least 30% of your total available credit limit. So in this example specifically, it will be trying to keep your current limit of $1,000 under somewhere around $300. And here's something that a lot of people don't realize, and that's that even if you have a decent credit score, you can still end up getting denied when applying for a new card if your total utilization is a bit too high. So before applying, try and get your current credit limits that you have under that 30% utilization range that we just spoke about. Ideally even maybe 10%, because honestly the lower is always the better. And another thing to add that a lot of people just may not understand when it comes to using their credit cards is that the statement date in a lot of ways is more important than your actual due date when it comes to utilization. Your due date is when the payment is actually due on the credit card to avoid any late fees, whereas the statement date is when the bank actually takes a snapshot of your current balance and reports it to all the major credit bureaus. So that means that if you wait until the due date to pay down your credit card to try and get it under that 30% or maybe even 10% utilization range, then the high balance that you may have already had probably already got reported to the credit bureaus. So that basically means your utilization can still look high even if you pay the card off on time every single month on the payment due date. Now, if you do want to lower your utilization when applying for a new credit card, then you'll need to pay the balance down in time before the statement actually closes, not just before the payment due date. That timing alone can make a really huge difference. Now, if you don't have a credit card just yet, then this step isn't really going to matter to you as much since you don't really have a utilization just yet, and that's okay. Instead though, your main focus should be on starting with the right first card, which honestly goes back to the first step where I talked about knowing why you're actually getting the card in the first place. So do your research. Beforehand, make sure you understand all of the most important aspects of the card when you're applying for it. Things like the APR that it has, whether or not it has an annual fee, and look at all the fine print so nothing catches you off guard when you actually get your hands on the card itself. And remember that in the beginning with your first card, your main goal is building trust with lenders and building a good credit history. So don't stress too much on chasing rewards right away. And lastly, I want to talk about checking the pre-approval and hard inquiry rules during the application process beforehand. So something that's important to know is that with most credit card applications, they can trigger a hard inquiry on your credit report, and sometimes too many hard inquiries on your credit report in a short time frame can hurt your chances of actually getting approved. And one of the problems is that most people don't space out their applications enough or understand the rules that a lot of these banks may have. Many banks don't like multiple applications in a short time frame or too many recently opened accounts because it can look like you're too aggressively applying for multiple different credit cards. So before applying for a new one, try and ask yourself, have I applied for multiple credit cards recently, or am I just trying to rush rush to try and chase bonuses. If this is the case, then waiting a few months before applying for another credit card may actually improve your chances that you'll get approved. Rushing into too many applications at once can easily turn into things like getting denied, getting approved for a lower limit, or just having worse terms like them giving you a higher interest rate, for example. So believe it or not, sometimes the smartest move is simply just waiting a bit to improve your odds. So long story short, when you're applying for your next credit card, you should know why exactly you're applying, understand your current credit profile and your current utilization, and check for any pre-approval or inquiry rules beforehand. Credit cards are very powerful tools, but only if you use them intentionally. So listen, I hope you gained some value from this video, or maybe you learned something that you probably didn't already know already. So if this video helped you out, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing for more personal finance or credit card content. And let me know down in the comments what credit card you're looking at and thinking about applying for next. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.